Welcome in, everyone. So, AIB, emailing, thanks for redeeming first. What do you mean you got them both? You got one first and second? So I'm thinking of getting this outfit. I'm looking at the bank. So we got two new outfits. So we got Essel, which is oh oh. I forget. Hmm. Alright, there we go. Alright, so as you see, wait, let's see. Oh, I have to move my VTuber again, I think. It's not touching the bottom. So it's like, this looks like a floating. Wait, what? Huh? Wait. Oh, it's locked. Okay. There we go. So yeah, I was, so Iso is one of my main characters, so I'm thinking of getting her. I believe there's a... Okay, that's the outfit. Illustration. And as what I heard, they have new battle scenes. So I'm going to check what her thing is later on. So I'll pick that up later. I don't have this character yet. I think it's a healer, but I'm not positive. But yeah, it's Be Cowboy, welcome here, Texas. Huh. So instead of the regular, wait, are we able to check his character? No, we don't have his character, but I think he has like another thing on his back. Let me check something else. 10. Oh, since we're here,
During
wait
the
a sec.
restless nights of my adolescence, I had no.
Wait a sec, where was I? Alright, since we're here, let's do these are the characters that okay, so well besides so she's the what is it? Oh. I guess she's not a healer, it's a support and a shield. Out of this group, the only one I don't have is Spadilla. The boxer girl. Okay, let's collect everything first. We still have plenty of does it give me any more crystals? Nope. Mail. Alright, so that gives us more turns. Alright. So we got Tuesday. And Barbara. Alright, let's see. Summoned? Alright, so we make it Barbara for this one only once. 10, like, we only do twice, I think. Alright, so that's a 5-star. Is it Barbara? No.
I'm Kanjira, and this is Punji. I hope you're not afraid of her. Wow.
So that's
This
like.
place is so cool.
Alright. Let's try it again. We have. Alright, so that means we have 500 left. So to get another. Okay, yeah. Oh! Did we get Tuesday? Or do we lose the 50-50? Come on, Tuesday. Come on. Oh, we got it. Now we just have to get the 5-star Barbara.
I see there are children here. If you're in need of a babysitter, I'd be more than happy to look after them.
She's kind of cute. Screenshot. Let's see which one does that? Does that work? Oops. Oh, okay. I have it set to something different. So window. Okay. I'm gonna post that on my there we go. Oh, hey Burst Beat, let me give you a shout out. So we did get the new character. Alright, so we got the new character Tuesday. And I don't think there's any... Yeah, we don't have any 5 stars. But yeah, Barbara's cute. This is a little sheep. So she's okay, so support, shield, and heal. What I got her, which is debuff, poison, and support. Alright, since we
The good thing about getting a digital emu as your pet is you don't pay for her fodder. Just a single press, and she'll have...
oh, let's make her the new where's the thing? Where's Tuesday? Tuesday's gonna be the new one now. I passed it already? Nope. I saw... oh, there it is, Tuesday. I'm not sure what she's carrying. Alright, let's see the trailer. I'll show you what the trailer looks like.
Are you alright? Please help me. There's a motel close by.
A motel?
Tuesday's motel. Can I help you, miss?
Wait, that's her hotel?
Who are you?
You're in deep now, ain't you? The name's Argus. Just call me Merc.
When was that array drawn?
It'd be less than 24 hours ago.
I didn't do this.
Gunpowder on his fingers. But this ain't no ordinary pistol. You're in for a lick of trouble, that's for sure. Take me to his room.
So it's a Xeno officer.
What are we after, boss?
Firstly, I'd like to know what happened to her. Second, whether the Order of Enlightenment has been here. Why did a Xeno officer come to this place? This motel?
Those calls are meant for the dead. They say the deepest despair comes from hesitation. It won't fool me.
Can it really be that simple?
The Haunted Highway, Route 77. So we do have the Tuesday story. We'll do in a later time.
Whatever sort of reputation it has.
So let's start the main event. Story mode. So stage 1, a trail of footprints. Where they lead, no one knows. Part 1. A Trail of Footprints. Countryside, Texas. Rain-soaked soil. Shallow footprints. A mercenary in a wall-brimmed hat kneels on one knee, her left eye glowing brightly.
10.6 inches long.
The soil beneath the footprint is uneven. One side presses deeper in the ground.
Signs of limping.
Wide strides, heavy indentation, a slight drag.
Male.
Heavy pressure on the forefoot, lighter on the heel. Deep scraps on the front, fewer at the back.
Around 20 years old.
Light on his feet, uneven pressure on the forefoot.
Lightweight.
She scratches her skull with a barrel of her shotgun. The further she goes, the more irregular the footprints become, and the more clues emerges.
More sets of footprints here.
There's a rustling in the grass nearby, along with a faint sound of...
Boss, are you sure this is where the materials for the revered one are? There isn't even a single trace of human activity here, let alone a market. I guess the only possible explanation is we're here for these plants, right?
Of course not, you idiot.
That's too bad. I'm great at harvesting plants. I'm a pro, see? Check out these calluses. Although my mom would probably disagree. Do you have any idea what these materials look like? It must be important, so we better handle them with care. Don't want to risk mistaking them for weeds, you know? I hope they're easy enough to find. With my leg messed up like this, I can hardly handle any delicate work.
Wait, so is he the suspect? Suspect.
That's him. The one with the limp.
Sorry about this, man.
There's a distant sound of a gun being cocked.
But at least you'll see your mom soon. Up there in
Wait,
there.
what?
What?
Is he gonna kill him? The mercenary suddenly pulls the trigger of her shotgun. The bullet grazed the assailant's cheek.
Who's there?
Alright, since this is like just a story mode, it's kind of like easy mode. Let me check out what other characters you can put in.
I'm here to help.
Let's put her in. I want to check what she does.
Program activated.
So it's buff,
To the right.
attack, and do a one shot.
Loading. Regaining control of our look. Target confirmed.
And now to return to my long-term mission.
So we have Lucy,
Rest.
which is once any enemy dies, she does attack, and she only can do it up to 2 times. Because I think for me, I have to upgrade her one more time to do 3 attacks in one turn.
What are you waiting for? Get your ass out of here.
His trembling hands betrays fear and panic.
Ah, you got a couple questions for this one too, huh? Well, first come, first served. I'm afraid you're gonna have to get in line.
She steps on the man's chest and presses the barrel of her gun against his throat.
Alright, here's how we're gonna do this. I ask, you answer. If you lie, I'll blow your jaw off. Have you ever met a girl named Kayla?
Kayla?
Let's try that again. A girl about 5'3", chestnut hair, emerald green eyes, speaks like a Texan. Have you seen her? Yes or no?
The man shakes his head in terror.
No?
She smirks.
Then why is her hair clip in your pocket?
She presses down harder, jamming the shotgun into his throat.
I remember. There's a girl, 5'3", chestnut hair. She's always carrying a basket. Her name's Kayla, too. But her eyes ain't emerald green. They're...
Purple. The man's mouth opened helpless as he desperately tries to remember the color of the girl's eyes. It's on the tip of his tongue, but he can't seem to spit it out. The crucial detail he should remember, but has now forgotten.
Tell me how you got this hair clip. The more detailed, the better.
We just bumped into each other by chance. She dropped it on the road, and I thought my daughter would like it, so I...
Relieved to have moved on from the color, the man blathers on obediently. Her fingers tighten on the trigger.
I'll give you one last chance. Where did you meet?
At a place called... Tuesday's Motel.
There you go. That wasn't so hard, was it?
She sheaths the shotgun and knocks the man out with the butt.
Next time, just spit it out. Save us all some time.
Are you with the Foundation?
The Foundation?
Yeah. They hate the Foundation, you see. But you saved me. I need some help. My mom...
The mercenary cuts him off harshly.
I ain't never heard of no Foundation. And I don't give a you-know-what about what's going on between you and them. Got my own matters to deal with. I'll leave him with you. Keep the gun. You figure the rest out yourself.
A thin cloud obscures the setting sun, scattering its light. She looks out into the horizon.
Now, where's this motel?
The young follower points a trembling finger southward, where the stars have started to appear in the sky. The red lowland lies still, their furrows raising and falling gently.
Listen, you saved my life, so I owe you one. I have to warn you, that motel...
Save your breath. We're done here.
Wait!
The follower hurries, pulls out a few dollar bills from his pocket.
You're a mercenary, right? I can tell by your gear. I'm worried about my mother. If you see her on the road, please give me a call.
He hesitates for a moment before taking off a metal locket from around his neck.
Here's a photo of her.
The mercenary opens the locket to reveal an elderly woman with a kind smile.
Go.
She hands it back to the follower.
And here, my phone number.
He writes a series of numbers on a blank section of the one banknote.
And listen, be careful. Something ain't right about that motel.
Alright.
She takes the money, slips the dollar bill with her phone number into her pocket, then turns away. The afternoon heat lingers on the highway. The mercenary makes her way back to the car, shotgun in hand. She comes to a sudden stop.
One sheep. Two sheep. Three sheep.
It's Barbara, I think. A soft voice echoes from afar, and she notices a fluffy white figure circling around her car.
Is that a sheep?
The fluffy creature turns its head. It's a sheep-headed, human-bodied Arcanist. Arcanus.
2 sheep. 3 sheep. Funny how we hit the hay every night, just like kids hit the books every day. I'm Barbara. Nice to meet you.
The sheep-headed Arcanus extends a hand, a gesture befitting an introduction, but she doesn't get the unexpected response.
You're in my way, ma'am.
I've tried waving and shouting at the drivers, but none of them stopped for me. Thankfully, pacing around the road seems to have done the trick.
Listen, if you need a ride, here's my answer.
She gets in, closes the door, and looks at the hitchhiker through the open window.
No.
My driver left me here. Probably because of that scraping sound on the car roof. That scared him half to death. Everything happens for a reason. Destiny's brought me to the right place, I think. Could you give me a ride? I'm on a business trip, so money is no object.
It ain't about money.
Oh, a disappointing answer. But I understand. One must be vigilant. If you don't mind me asking, miss, what happened to your eyes? They're bloodshot. It's best not to drive with your eyes in such a state. You have a much higher chance of getting into an accident.
That ain't none of your concern, Miss Sheep. See ya.
The mercenary closes the window, finally blocking out the endless chatter. She turns the ignition key, and the radio bursts to life, blaring disco music inside the vehicle. She shuts it off and stops on the gas. The engine roars as the speedometer climbs higher and higher. In the field on either side of the road, shepherds are herding their sheep. Unwelcome memories begin to surface. The land at the foot of the hill is covered in Indian grass, now turning a sunset red as autumn approaches.
Argus, come over here. This little lamb almost didn't make it out of her mama's belly.
The girl cuts the lamb's umbilical cord with a pair of scissors, while the ewe lies in the hay, bowing weakly.
That's life.
Don't say that. No living thing is born to suffer. Look, it's already standing.
The ewe licks off the afterbirth as the lamb struggles to stand on its shaky legs.
What an adorable little thing.
She grins as she wipes the blood and fluid off her hands onto her apron.
It's getting dark. We should take them back. Ain't no way they'll make it through the night out here with their mama hurt. And you can't see a thing at night.
You're right. Let's go.
The wind sweeps through the grass and rustles into the distance.
Screw it.
Margaret grits her teeth and yanks the steering wheel, pushing her car into a U-turn. She slams on the gas, rushing back to where the sheep-like Arcanus was. But when she arrives, there's nothing but a few cotton plants swaying in the breeze.
Should have minded my own damn business.
She turns the wheel again, harder this time. The tire screeches as she makes another U-turn and drives off. In the distance, the sun dips behind the hill. Her vision is fading. She switches on the headlights. As expected, the light is too dim to make up for her night blindness. She can hardly see a thing. A hard brake. Unfortunately, it's too late to stop the crash. To be continued. The fog descends. This is not an ideal day for a drive, regardless of the vehicle.
Before we left, TTT was telling me an urban myth about Texas.
Huh, sounds about right. What's the story about?
The story starts off in the typical way. A man was driving down a long Texas road when he saw a girl hitchhiking. He offered her a lift and a piece of chocolate. The man dropped the girl off at a cemetery and drove on. It was late at night, so he was hoping to reach his destination quickly. Soon after, he saw a funeral procession going down the road. The photo of the dead seemed familiar. Curiosity came over him, and he followed them to the cemetery. Look, a piece of chocolate.
A sudden beeping interrupts her story.
Give me a moment. I have to take this. It's from the Foundation.
The voice on the other side is as calm as ever.
Timekeeper, this is an emergency notice. The Xeno base in Texas, USA has conducted a large-scale evacuation. Xeno has not yet responded regarding their actions. Should you encounter any difficulties on your trip there, please contact headquarters immediately.
Understood.
Despite these developments, your mission remains the same. Contact U2 editor Barbara, who was last seen near Route 77 collecting information, and find Erd's current whereabouts through her. Since U2 editors use a special communication channel, her current location is still unknown. We'll be in touch as soon as there's any new information. Any questions, Timekeeper?
No. Thank you.
All the best, then.
The communication ends. Lila looks thoughtful.
What did they say?
There was a mass evacuation at the Xeno base in Texas.
What's that all about? They called me 2 days ago, saying that Red 38 was still under routine maintenance in their armament factory. But now, all of a sudden, they're gone? How am I going to get my Red 38 back now, huh? If they hadn't taken her away for inspection, we wouldn't be traveling in this little car, wasting all day on the road.
The operator only mentioned an evacuation. It's still possible that some of them have stayed behind to keep the factory running. If you're worried about Red 38, we can take a detour there. It's in Chisos. The town isn't far from here.
Lily squirms in her seat.
Hey, mister, can you take us to the cheeses? It's just a little detour.
He taps his finger rhythmically on the steering wheel.
Girls, I don't know why y'all are here. But whether it's just for a bit of adventure or for business, I gotta tell you, something ain't right in that town. We've all heard the stories. Scratching sounds on car roofs, animal bits stuck to car grills, and those people in black robes running around. It's all too weird for me.
Give the ghost stories a rest. Look, if you're trying to negotiate a higher price, at least be a little smart about it, instead of trying to spook us with a few tall tales.
You got me all wrong. Who in their right mind would throw away the cash in their hand unless they were forced to? Benjamins are good and all, but they ain't worth my life. Ain't no way I'm taking you there, no matter how much cash you throw at me.
Why? Were you the driver in that ghost story?
No.
Have you seen these things happen yourself? come on. It's just a little detour. It won't even cost you much fuel.
He clenches his hand tightly around the steering wheel, his knuckles turning white from the pressure.
Sir?
You see that? It's fogging up.
Thick, milky fogs enveloped the car. The driver pulls over.
Ain't no way this fog is natural. We shouldn't go any further. I'm stopping right here.
Ugh, fine. I'll drive. Smoke kids with me.
No! Nobody get out of the car.
Why?
Are you kidding me? You haven't heard the stories, have you? Then what in the hell are you even doing here? When the fog rolls in on Route 77, you should always stay in the car. All kinds of terrible things hide in the fog. Some folks say they saw giant white crocodiles. Others say they saw dead bodies hanging from trees. Ain't nobody leaving this car. Not until the fog's gone.
He interrupts by scraping. Wait, what?
Is that?
Oh, come on. Don't tell me you're scared of this stuff.
No response.
He's fainted.
A strange atmosphere spreads inside the car as they sit and listen to the scraping on the roof. But this is nothing compared to what happened at Green Lake campsite. Finally, the scraping stops, and a few black and white figures
I
dart
see.
past. So it's critters, right?
This looks like the work of a mumus. It's a critter commonly seen in the southern US. When they're frightened, they produce a fog-like gas from their respiratory trumpet.
So that sound is just some critter scratching along on the roof.
Lilia opens the door.
At this rate, I won't get my Red 38 back for another month. Well, I always wanted to try this. Help me move this guy.
Oh,
And you'll have to give up your passenger seat, Capitan.
Oh, she can drive.
I know what you're thinking, but do you have a US driver's license? Or any driver's license at all, for that matter?
What do I need that for? I can fly a broom and even do all those maneuvers. That takes more skill than driving a car, don't you think? Compared to flying, driving a car is child's play. Just look at the number of drivers compared to pilots in the world.
Following the pilot's plan, they adjust positions.
Now, where do we start?
She glances at the dashboard in front of her. This doesn't look like the interior of a Soul Obi, a minor issue. She thinks back to her training.
Start both engines. Keep the tachometer at 70%. Here's the nose wheel steering, the position indicator for the joystick, the throttle lever. And these are for the flaps. No, that's not right. We're in a car, not a flying machine.
The rear seat passenger quietly fastens her seatbelt.
Let's just get out, Capitan. Can't wrap my head around this hunk of metal.
Good decision.
If these critters are responsible for this fog, our solution is simple. We drive them away. Let's go.
She opens the door and the thick fog outside rushes in like a tide. That was a short one. This magazine column was always popular, but now the columnist trail has vanished near Route 77. The Hitchhiker's column. Since our last column, we've been inundated with letters, tapes, and voice recordings of the passionate readers. I must say, the impact of the piranhas in the sewer stories exceeded my expectation. One anonymous reader compiles 23 different urban sewer predators legends she picked up during the travels, and asked when I was going to write about the country witch who turned into a hare. She fondly recalls how her grandma amusing witch stories tingled to such a gentle fright, would lull her to sleep as a child. I'd like to extend my heartfelt thanks to this reader. These contributions has been invaluable to my writing, and I soon dwell in the childhood tales. Stories of mysterious transformation arcane skills are truly captivating, and their prevalence might be more widespread than I initially thought. As we continue with the last issue theme, sewer legends intertwine with conspiracy theories. For example, in a tape sent by a Mr. K from New York City, a relative is astonished she believes that the government secretly hired a team to feed albino fish living in the sewer. In previous investigations, a teenager shared his thrilling experience. He encountered human-sized, upright, walking reptiles and rodents in the city sewers. It's the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles! These stories often end up with the line, "The government knows they exist, but the higher-ups are keeping it a hush-hush." More radical speculation suggests that city sewers can easily be used as experiment sites with piranhas, alligators, giant snakes, and all manners of other dangerous creatures being secretly bred by the government or mysterious organization for unknown purposes. In our next column, we'll be returning to Texas, where the series began. As you read this, it's most likely already has set off on a new adventure. Perhaps our path will cross to the dusty road of Texas. So part 3, Baby Broadcaster. The good news is we found a radio station. The bad news, the host hasn't learned to speak yet. They get out of the car and steps into the asphalt road. A barely perceptible moisture fills the air. The mist is persuasive, even filling the ears and nostril. A faint breeze runs along their faces, like a spider's web blowing into the winds. A flash of insight comes from her from some distance, unreachable place.
What is it, Capitan?
Someone's casting arcane skills nearby.
Baby cries. The crying of a baby throbs faintly in the ears like an insect bite.
Do you hear that? Sounds like a crying baby.
Better go take a look.
Grass is rustling, as if something is moving nearby.
You know, a Texan soldier once told me about a notorious bandit back in his hometown many years ago. He would record the sound of a crying baby and play it outside the homes of single mothers. Then he'd wait, ready to attack them if any of them opened their door to look for the baby.
Yes, but the actions of one man don't negate all other calls for help.
Of course not. It's just a reminder to be ready for anything. We're close now. Prepare yourself.
Got it.
The grass sways and the faint crying stops. The fogs grow thicker.
Vertin, over here!
A broken flashlight lies on the ground. The damage looks recent. Not far away, they spot a foot in a black suit and a pale ankle disappearing.
Hello. Please help.
The frail woman tightly cradles a swallowed infant. Her body curls up and trembles
Are
with
you
fear.
alright, miss?
The maid turns her head. Her face is pale, as if all the blood has been drained from it.
Finally. Someone. Please, help me. These critters won't let me leave. Every time I try, they knock me back. My baby's starving and crying. If you hadn't come, I really don't know what I would have done.
The critters makes a wary sound.
You mean these Moomus? I've never read about them attacking anyone in any reports. In fact, they're known for being rather timid.
Reports don't necessarily capture the whole story, Capitan. Look at them. They don't seem very timid to me.
The moment before them opens its mouth wide, revealing its sharp white teeth.
Careful, it's going to attack.
Since we probably don't need a healer, so let's bring somebody else in. Oh, okay. Pico is mountain, so no mountain characters.
Embrace rather than resist.
Okay, so we got counters.
Loading. To the right.
Faraday's miracle.
Now, to preserve this memory in our dreams.
The creatures scatter, the grass wrestling as they flee.
They always run off so quickly.
The woman pulls herself off the ground and brushes the dirt from her skirt.
Are you alright? Did you get a good look at them? Those slippery little things look like seals, don't they? They always jump on passing cars and rub their flat hind legs on the roof, making that coarse, raping sound. Amazing creatures, aren't they? These little fearmongers.
The wind sweeps across the plain, dispersing the fog. The woman's face flushed red as she swings
But
lightly
they
in the
are,
breeze.
in fact, easily frightened. The slightest movement could startle them. That's why it's foggy all year around here. Many of my guests have trouble finding their way to the motel. Are you ladies looking to check in at the motel?
Motel?
Yes, Tuesday's Motel. If you're looking for a comfortable bed for the night, it's the place to go. Anyway, thank you so much for saving us. I owe you one.
Excuse me. Are you the maid at Tuesday's Motel?
Oh, I almost forgot to introduce myself. Folks around here call me Tuesday. Hey, Tuesday, over here. Hey, Tuesday, breakfast for one, please. Tuesday, Tuesday. Oh, ain't we all like horses? And our names like the rain's pulling at us.
She looks at the two of them over.
Do you need a place to stay, ladies?
Thank you for your kindness. But our driver's still in the car. We can't just leave him there.
And our luggage and travel documents are still in the trunk, along with our cash too. Let's head back now that the fog has cleared.
Shall I lead the way?
You?
She looks the maid up and down suspiciously.
What were you doing out here alone anyway?
I was waiting for a guest. It's been 2 hours and they still haven't shown up.
I thought, rather than waiting here, I would pay you back for helping me. I assume you parked near Route 77? Let me take you there.
The setting sun scattered its light, illuminating the dogwood and cotton plants in the field.
That coward.
Oh, he drove off? Ha!
He just threw out our luggage and took off. How pathetic.
At least he didn't take the luggage with him.
Are you going to thumb a ride with all these bags? I'd advise against that, especially here. You've seen those movies, right? Bad things can happen on the road out here. There are a lot of smugglers around these days.
There's a clear concern in her voice.
Did you say your motel wasn't far from here?
Yes. Come this way. There's an easy trail that won't dirty your shoes. Don't worry. It ain't far.
The walk isn't far, indeed. Before long, they're standing in front of the motel.
When night falls and the signs are lit, a weary traveler may find a comfortable place to rest here.
Under the shade of the Dean tree, the wooden porch awaits its owner, darkening in the fading sunlight.
Welcome to Tuesday's Motel, ladies.
So she's not the owner? It is her name. Right, so Part 4, Medal of Honor. It is from the giver that honors derives, not the receiver. The maid stands behind the front desk in the motel lobby. She's checking in her new guests.
That'll be $25 altogether. Will that be on card or cash?
Cash, please.
The maid holds up the passport, comparing the information on it.
Hey, do you know if there's an armament factory in the town nearby?
An armament factory?
She studies Lilia's outfit and smiles as she responds.
Yes, there is one. Would you like a map?
She opens a drawer, pulls out a map, and hands it to her.
If you plan on visiting, make sure to return early. It can be a difficult walk in the dark.
Lilia quickly finds the town labeled kiosk on the map.
Doesn't seem far from here.
It's about an hour's walk. I'd recommend leaving tomorrow morning. It's getting late. It's best not to be outside at night.
Thanks, but I'm going right now.
She moves with swift purpose to the front door.
Nothing can go wrong as long as I have Red 38 by my side.
Call me if anything happens.
Like what? I can handle myself.
A rush of wind enters as Leah opens the door and makes her way out of the motel.
Don't worry. She'll check in later.
Here's your passport.
Have you been working here since the opening of this place?
Yes.
How's business?
The maid laughs softly.
Not too great. It's the off-season now. You don't seem too good at small talk. Is there anything you'd like to ask?
I do have one question. Have you seen a sheep-headed arcanist around?
Show some information provided by the Foundation.
Oh, that's not a face you'd easily forget. And why are you looking for this arcanist?
Looking for the editor of UTTU.
U. I think I've heard of that before. That's a magazine specially made for arcanists, right? Well, I'm sorry to say that I've never met an arcanist with the head of a sheep. I can help you ask around if you...
Suddenly, the ceiling starts to tremble. A surge of arcane energy comes from above.
What?
Sounds like something's going wrong upstairs. Sorry about that. Let's head up. Your room's on the second floor too. Then we can take a look at what's happened.
Sounds good.
Just so you know, the guests upstairs are a little... Well, you can stay behind me if you like.
How about it?
A voice echoes from down the hall.
It's just a simple room swap. I'm sure it won't be no trouble at all for a generous lady such as yourself.
That's the guest staying in room 210. She arrived here the night before yesterday. She was injured when she came in. Seems it didn't take her long to recover. But I don't quite understand why she insists on swapping rooms with the other guests. If she does the same to you, please call the front desk. I'll do my best to help.
Why didn't you offer her your help? She needs it more than I do.
Oh, things don't work like that here, miss. Everyone has their own secrets. With the variety of guests we get, it's best to keep your mouth shut, or else somebody will shut it for you. Although there are fewer bounty hunters around these days, my advice is to stay quiet if you don't want any trouble. Especially if you're dealing with an armed mercenary. You know how things like that play out down here in Texas, don't you?
Understood.
Or do you have something else in mind?
Is your room bigger and better than this one?
A more lively voice chimes in.
That's the guest of room 218 speaking. She too is a young lady like you.
You remember all the guests and their room numbers?
You'd remember her too if she'd been staying in your motel for a month. Miss Kimberly's been here for just over that. Hmm?
Mirror. The mirror.
Mr. Stefan, are you coming out for some fresh air?
Everybody in the hallway turns to look at the maid.
Maid, you're just in time. I'd like to swap rooms with this Kimberly lady.
If Miss Kimberly and yourself have come to an agreement, then I see no reason why you can't do so.
Timekeeper?
Have we met?
The response seems to trigger something. His expression twists.
Vertin.
That's me. Do I know you, sir?
I saw you in the newspaper. The newspaper, that vacuum bomb. Did you see the explosion? You must have, because you made it happen. You dropped the bomb, you murderers. But have any of you been brought to justice? No, not a single one. Instead, you were congratulated and given medals. Revolting. Disgusting. Why were you rewarded for murder?
He blabbers on, working himself into a frenzy.
Meanwhile, I'm stuck in this hotel. Lord, is this what my life has come to?
But we've never met before. I don't even know your name, sir.
Of course you don't know me, but I'll get the truth out. I'll expose your crimes to the public.
Man's deranged rant continues. His knuckle turns white as he clenches his fist.
That rotting woman in the tub, that sheep-headed monster, and that one inside the mirror.
Sheep-headed, you say? Wait, sir.
Shh, don't startle him. He's totally crazy.
I should have known it was all fake. If they're giving out medals for killing people, then I should have one too. That shiny medal. It should be mine!
Stay back!
But the man has already launched at them.
Embrace rather than resist.
He's got a gun!
To the right.
Charging.
Please. Listen. Journey to the cosmos.
Barrage.
Victory secure. I should excuse myself.
A single blow from the butt of the mercenary shotgun knocks the man out. The maid breathes heavily, her face slightly flushed.
I'm ever so sorry about all this, Miss Furton. You've only just arrived, and you've had to deal with so much trouble already.
Oh, it's no trouble. In fact, I'm glad that we came here. That man said he'd seen a sheep-headed monster.
Oh, that. He's quite delusional. Surely you won't take the ramblings of a madman for a fact, will you? He's been peculiar since the day he checked in. He spasms and twitches, and pays little attention to his surroundings. It's best not to have a face-to-face conversation with him. Who knows what he'll do next?
Hey, you, maid. Enough chatter. You have a job to do.
The girl impatiently interrupts their conversation.
I've accepted the offer this, Miss Arcus made. What's next? What should we do?
Apologies, Miss Kimberly. I'll be with you in a moment. Could the both of you wait for me at the front desk? The rooms need a tidy up before they can be occupied. You may take a rest on the couch in the lobby while you wait. Miss Furton, I'm afraid I'll have to leave you here. Do you mind going to your room alone?
Not at all.
The suitcase sways for steps as she walks towards her room. Once again, the air pulses with the flow of arcane energy, compelling her to look back.
Ma'am, you can just leave the room as it is. If you clean it, it'll interfere with my work. You might want to check on that Kimberly lady. She looked starved. She wouldn't stop shaking.
A cluster of emerald lights spark in the mercenary's left eye, scattering like a bird unfurling its brilliant tail feathers.
Oh, Miss Kimberly, would you like something to eat?
I'm fine.
The guest face visibly sour.
I agreed to change rooms, didn't I? Why are you two still mocking me?
She turns her attention to the mercenary.
You're not exactly a pleasant person to do business with. You know that, right?
Well, darn. What got you so riled up? It's too late now. A deal's a deal. You can backpedal if you like, but it ain't wise to mess with the girl packing heat down here in Texas. Later, Miss Kimberly.
The mercenary's eyes gleams as he turns to lock and enters her hard-won
Her
room.
arcane skill.
So 5. Wait, let's see. Do we unlock anything yet? That's 1. Let's grab the key. And we'll check the shop for 2. Okay, so we got. Okay, so we can get Tuesday's side cube. So what else is there? Okay. We'll do 5 and then we'll take a small break and then we'll continue on after. So let's see. Part 5. A sended message. In most cases, code is not suitable for human communication. The door creaks as she opens it. Her nostrils are hit with a distant scent of floor wax. She flips the switch and after a brief hum of electricity, the room lights up.
That man, Stefan, he clearly knows something. But he appears to be rather mentally unstable, and he's hostile towards me. Adam Z cautioned me on this. I must be extra careful when dealing with people like him. Should make sure I have a backup plan in place before proceeding. Still no sign of Lilia.
She tries again, but still no luck.
Did she get in trouble?
Suddenly the phone on the nightstand rings. It vibrates violently.
Hello? Hello? Is that Miss Tuesday?
Who is it? Is it Morse code? The short and long sounds are distinct. They form a certain rhythm.
Oh, I think I know what this is. That's an R.
Run?
E.
Oh.
S. P. O.
Repo? The phone is normally hung up, but it doesn't matter. The dots are
Respond.
complete. Oh, respond. Oh. The message conveyed through Morse code. The mean of communications that sacrifice efficiency for safety is commonly used in intelligence, but rarely for anything else. Why would there be such a message in a motel? The phone rings again. She picks it up with a hesitation.
Hello? Is this Miss Burton?
Miss Tuesday?
Yes. I have an announcement for you. There's a service outage going on in the area. Some critters nibbled through the cables of a nearby signal tower, but all our internal phone lines are still running well.
I see.
It should be repaired soon since we share the signal tower with that armament factory. I apologize for any inconvenience this may cause. I'll bring you dinner up later. It's on the house.
Ask about the strange phone call.
There's something I want to ask you. I received a phone call earlier.
Oh, Miss Kimberly was also prank called not long ago. I suppose it's a critter's doing. You know how mischievous they can be. And since they have decent smarts, they can play some pretty nasty tricks.
In theory, a group of monkeys could still write Shakespeare's complete work on a typewriter if given the time. But what this really,
I don't think that's
in
what
reality,
made the phone call.
Well, Miss Merton, this is what I understand to be the truth. Is there anything else I can help you with?
I'm good for now. Thank you.
She hangs up. She feels a light touch on her neck, like a feather brushing against her skin. She roughly touched her neck. It's a spider web. She followed it up to the corner of the ceiling.
Spiders?
The spider falls onto the surface of the wooden cabinet. It moves its slender legs, crawling from one shadowy spot to another. As it moves, spark ignites in the air. Then, in the glow of arcane skill, she can see everything clearly.
Is that an arcane array? The pattern's familiar. I've seen it somewhere before.
The surface of the bedside cabinet has a rough engraving on it. She traces the marking with her fingers, trying to discern the texture and direction. The ray burns her fingertips, and in a momentary pain, memories are awakened.
Yes, I've definitely seen this before. When I was in school.
This is an extremely dangerous array, one that you are prohibited from using. It can go easily beyond the caster's control. We study Arcanum and tame it for our use. But once its power surpasses our limits, it is highly likely that it will lead to our own destruction. I need you all to remember that. It'll be in your next exam.
Students puts their head down, and the sound of scribbling fills the classroom.
Burton, are you listening?
How young are these
The
now?
instructor just said it'd be in the next exam. If you like, you can check my notes.
You know, now they're like field agents. The top student nervously clutches her notebook in her hands.
Thank you. My mind was somewhere else. Why have they made it a key point of the exam if we can't even use it? I see. They didn't teach us about arrays so that we could use them. They wanted us to be able to identify them so that we could avoid danger. It's highly likely to cause an explosion or other severe consequences if I act too hastily.
The ray glows faintly.
Lilia still hasn't come back. I must find someone else to help.
What qualities should an ally have? Decisiveness, efficiency, some means of offense or self-defense? A sudden knock on the door interrupts her thought. She opens it to a familiar face.
Hey, we met back in the hallway, remember? Now it's your turn.
What exactly do you want from me, miss?
The mercenary raised her eyebrow.
Well, it's simple. The person I'm looking for is right here in this motel, and I'm scouring every corner of it to find her. Look, Missy, I don't want to make things hard for you. Name your price, and we can talk.
If this person's gone to such great lengths to avoid you, perhaps she doesn't want to see you at all.
Well, that ain't my concern, is it? A job's a job. Whether it's catching a cheating spouse, tracking someone down, or delivering a letter, it don't make no difference to me.
Very well. But you'll have to look elsewhere, I'm afraid. There's no one but me in this room.
Look, I know what I'm doing. How about you turn around and take a good look around the room?
So you can knock me out as soon as I turn my back to you.
The mercenary gives a hearty laugh.
Missy, if that were my plan, I wouldn't have spent all this time talking to you. I much prefer to do my business pleasantly. I don't like to see things get too ugly.
I see.
Fine. If you don't want to turn around, I'll tell you what I see.
The mercenary squints, the same emerald light simmering in her eye.
You've burned your finger there. You should be more careful.
This is...
Don't look like a fire burn to me. What was it? Some arcane energy? Looks like this room has a couple secrets, too.
The mercenary shifts her gaze to the room further away.
So you touched an arcane array, and its power burned you. How's that for a guess? Pretty close, huh?
She examines the mercenary's burning emerald eye.
This is my arcane skill. It allows me to see the traces that people leave behind. That's how I get these jobs, you see. Ain't nothing happening that don't leave a trace. If there ain't no trace, then it never happened. I came to your room to look for evidence, not a person.
I see. You want to know whether the person you're tracking has been here, right?
Now we're talking.
Before I let you investigate the room, I have one more question. You take jobs from people nearby, don't you?
Of course. It's obvious, ain't it?
He doesn't get the response she wants. In this familiar silence, the mercenary smells an immediate deal. It's a mixture of caution and trust, anticipation and doubt.
You seem more intrigued by my profession than my peculiar request. You're in trouble, ain't you? Then let me formally introduce myself. The name's Argus. I'm 26, and I have extensive experience as a mercenary.
Let's make a deal. You may search this room all you like, and I won't say a thing. But in return, I'd like your assistance in my own investigation.
How, exactly?
Can you tell when that array on the cupboard was drawn?
Argus slings her shotgun over her shoulders and crouches down beside the nightstand. After a brief examination, she gives her assessment.
Less than 24 hours ago.
In other words, this was left behind by the last guest who stayed in this room.
Argus shakes her head.
Can't say for certain.
Alright, so let's take a quick break. If anyone wants to grab a snack, drinks, use the bathroom, I will say we'll Usually I come back in 5 minutes, but alright, so we're back. So, part 6. Glass bottles. Don't forget this handy weapon in the brawl. Hey Millie, welcome back. The empty factory is cold and damp.
Let's see what you've got in there for me.
Does he find her broom? She wanders the factory, eventually spotting a large crate covered in postal stamps in the receiving room. The crate is now tightly shut. She squints, only having to wait. Red 38, Lydia.
Hey, buddy!
She squats down and inspects the crate. After tapping a few times, she frowns.
They just left her in a wooden box. What kind of safekeeping is this? Anyway, I don't have much time. I'll settle that with them later.
She grabs the crate and tries to lift it. It doesn't budge. It's bound by arcanum.
Alright, at least they bothered to put a gravity ritual on it.
Light footsteps echoes behind her.
Are you also preparing to evacuate?
Lila turns around. A slender girl stands before her, a basket in her
Perfect
arms.
timing. Are you in charge here?
The girl looks up and down before giving a sweet smile.
No, I'm not in charge of anything, Lieutenant. I'm just passing through. I'm Kayla, by the way. I heard some rattling here and thought some of those kids might have come back to steal weapons again. These things aren't cheap, and the kids know it.
Kids stealing from the military? Huh, that's a new one. Where are the guards here?
Oh, didn't they tell you, Lieutenant?
The girl sounds surprised.
The army stationed here started evacuating a month ago. There aren't many of them around these days.
Evacuating?
Well, then what's she doing there? The Foundation reports are correct. Lila senses impending danger.
Then where can I find the soldiers that are still here?
You're new in town, right? Did you see a bar on your way here? That's where the Xeno soldiers spend their nights drinking. You might want to check there first. That's probably where you'll find him.
Him? What does he look like?
Like every other Xeno soldier. They all look the same to me. You'll know him when you see him.
She paused, looking the pilot up and down.
But I have to tell you, the bar doesn't like outsiders. Have you heard of the Order of Enlightenment? It's an occult society. Very active these days. They were preaching in this town just a few days ago. Today is their day of prayer.
And, what does that have to do with me?
The bar you're going to is where they gather to pray. That's all I know. If you're going up there, please, be careful.
Huh, thanks.
Lila turns and leaves. The girl watches her as she goes.
May the sufferer watch over you. Great sufferer, by your decree, the glory of former days shall grace our present path.
She whispers a prayer as she clasps her hands together. The black facade of her wings shimmer.
great sufferer, by your decree, the glory of former days shall grace our present path.
We dedicate our souls and minds to you. We seek the well-being of our people in your name.
The solemn atmosphere fills the bar. A small group has gathered under the dim light, some in black robes, others in everyday clothes. They lean on each other like brothers and sisters. The man leading the prayer raises his glass and gives a toast.
May the sufferer watch over you. Under the grace, may our cups overflow. To the sufferer!
To the sufferer!
The bar door flings open.
Huh? Odd time for a stranger to come.
The young pilot looks around.
No crashing the party, am I?
She heads straight to the bar where she shelves glitters with various bottles.
Napa Valley, Californian Red, Kentucky whiskey. Ha! There's a lot of good stuff here. One vodka, straight. The best you got.
It ain't business hours, lady.
Click. She knows the sound. Someone cocking a gun just inches away from her.
Hey, all I did was ask for a drink. Is this how you treat your customers?
As I said, we ain't serving you.
Why? Don't you have vodka? Fine, I can settle for whiskey. Have to learn to take what we can get, eh?
You ain't getting that either.
Seriously? You don't have any whiskey?
He glances at the whiskey bottles lining the shelves.
I'm starting to understand why Zeno evacuated. What's the point of living in a town where there's no real liquor? Especially for those drunkards.
What's a Xeno lieutenant doing here anyway? No alcohol fuel in that warehouse of yours?
Huh. You sure have some interesting drinking habits down here. But I'm curious. What did the sufferer promise you to make you all change your faith? I mean, that's quite an achievement. Especially here in Texas.
She turns, narrowly avoiding a bullet, and whizzes past her hair.
Oh, so we're doing this now? Are we?
Thanks for the look, Panzer. Just use my regular team. I don't need a healer still, but let's bring in. We'll use her to it.
Look at my back.
Missiles.
Fine.
Loading.
It's newly made this year.
A little trick.
Eliminate target.
Another jar?
Wanna watch the aerial stunts?
Charging.
Yeah, she's a pilot, so
Red 38 is about to return.
she's an arcanist, so her it's like a broom. Bottles crash to the floor, splashing alcohol all over the bar.
Look, I don't care what you're doing here. Just tell me where that Xena soldier went.
She looks down at the bar owner slumped over the counter.
What Xeno soldier?
The man strains to open his swollen eyes.
Don't play dumb with me.
Oh, that soldier. He's a complete idiot, that one. It's obvious that Xeno's abandoned him, but he insists that they left him here because they believe that only he could keep the warehouse safe. Why are you looking for him now, if you decided to ditch him in the first place?
Listen, I can tell you guys aren't the biggest fans of Xeno, but that has nothing to do with me. I'm just here to get my stuff back.
He takes a labored breath.
Fine. If you insist on finding him, try your luck on the outskirts of town. He might be drinking there.
Thanks.
She steps over the unconscious man beside her and leaves the bar. Every day, thousands of documents pass through the headquarters, and this is merely one of them. St. Pavel Foundation reports. Report number. Field Investigation Team Leader Andreas Sylvester to Office of Vice President St. Pavel Foundation. Dear Madam Vice President, after a month of surveillance, our team has identified several Mantis Vendistas agents operating in the southern United States. At least 3 has been traveling between Dallas, Austin, and Houston. They are likely establishing information and supply chain channels for the Order of Enlightenment. Several others are active along Route 77, frequent using alias and disguise potions to keep their exact identity and numbers hidden. However, at least 5 false identifications has been confirmed. Please find detailed information on these agents attached to this report. I believe these findings further substantiate our hypothesis that the Order of Enlightenment is planned to carry out a persistent arcane ritual. Additionally, information reports indicate that a spy known as Miss Grace is active in Texas. See attached document. We await your directive on whether to pursue further surveillance on this individual. May the peace be with us. Field Agent Team Leader Andreas Sylvester. Reply to the Field Investigation Team. Thank you for your diligent effort in the pursuit of peace. The foremost mentioned until it has been documented. Regarding Miss Grace, I am fully aware of the situation. Given the unknown intention of the spy, I recommend a strategy of non-interference. Allow her to proceed in her actions for further observation. May the peace be with us, Vice President Constantine of the St. Pavel Foundation. Part 7. The Parchment. A magical medium upon which every sentence written speaks a profound truth.
We can't say for sure if this ritual was created by the last guest. Fact is, you can find all kinds of unusual markings in this motel. Most of them less than a month old. Very recent indeed. The maid said that there aren't many tourists these days, so my guess is that a group of skilled arcanists have left their work in every room. Based on the markings I've seen so far, there were about 3 to 5 people in this group.
And was there a sheep-headed arcanist among them?
Well, that I don't know. What I can say, though, is that there was a sheep living in here. I saw some hoof prints on the hallway floor. It looked like someone had stayed in this motel with a sheep. Sounds pretty odd. but I suppose it ain't too strange given the local farmland. But I'm sure this will catch your attention.
What?
We all know that sheep walk on 4 hooves. But the hoof prints I saw were different. They were small and delicate, and most importantly, followed the movement pattern of a human, judging by the trail. The owner of the hoof prints was about the size of a slender kid, maybe 5 feet tall.
The description exactly matches the Foundation's report.
That's it. That's the one I'm looking for.
Don't I know it? They can question my morals, but nobody can question my competence. So, may I enter your room now, Miss Verdon?
Please.
Now, let's start with this little thing. The carvings are new. No sign of woodworm damage or moisture absorption. These splinters along the edge are extremely sharp.
She dips her finger into a dark red crumbly
Is
residue.
this dried blood?
She rubs such granulate between her fingers and her thumb, reducing them to a fine powder.
Blood was used as the medium for this array. The circle isn't fully closed here, and the lines are a bit uneven. Whoever drew this doesn't seem to be an expert. You know how to deal with this, right?
All you have to do is ask, boss. You might be surprised.
We need to destroy it as quickly as possible. I think it's been left by a dangerous occult group.
Hold on.
She places a pillow over the wood and pulls the trigger. After a faint gunshot, the lingering light goes out. First blood oozes from the array, settling in the faded carving.
Is that blood?
The mercenary, unfazed, dips her finger in the red liquid and sniffs it.
Yep. The blood of an arcanist. So it can't be Kayla's.
Can you discern the owner's identity?
I ain't all-knowing. I can't identify people by their blood. No, I'll need more than just blood to find out who was here.
She fishes out a dusty sheepskin journal from the gap between the cabinet and the wall. She flips through the pages.
We are at the beginning and the original source of metals. Through us, the highest tincture of art is brewed. There is neither a spring nor water like mine. I heal and help both the rich and the poor. Yet I am full of hurtful poison. What the hell does that mean?
It's a quote from a text on alchemy.
All challenges will be resolved with the provision of sufficient and high-quality materials and the precise execution of the array. But where do we find these materials?
She continues to flick through the journal, releasing the accumulated alchemy residue on the page in the air. On the last page, torture words are scrawled on the paper. It looked like something a criminal would write in their final moments before their death sentence.
What was once sundered shall reunite.
Her nose burns as barely visible sparks heats the air.
I've seen this handwriting before.
And here, my phone number.
He hands over a dollar bill with a string of numbers scrawled across along the blank space. The mercenary pulls out the crumpled bill from her pocket, comparing the handwriting from that in the journal.
Yep, this is definitely the same. That sound. It's a Flying Arrow M1903 pistol. Kimberly? What's wrong with her now? I better go check it out, boss. Something don't seem right. You coming? That Kimberly must have run into something.
Part 8. Face reality. Going through all those Miranda's rights before integration. Man, we ain't got time for that. The thick carpet in the hallway is usually enough to dampen any sounds. But no amount of soundproofing can stop the sound of a gunshot from echoing through the place. It's its source. Seven limbs, twitching body lies on the floor. There's a gaping hole in his head. She's trembling in fear.
Is he still alive?
Just when I thought you couldn't get any dumber.
Is this a suicide?
He pulled out the gun and shot himself in the head. His brain splattered on the walls and flowed onto the floor.
Her murmuring is almost a confession. Argus kneels down to examine the body.
There's gunshot residue and powder burns near the wound. Gunpowder particles on his fingers. There's no doubt. He died from a gunshot wound. The bullet was fired from the pistol in his hand and went straight through his skull. But this ain't just any pistol. It's a Xeno pistol. You've got yourself in some serious trouble, Missy.
It wasn't me!
Her face is still pale, but she manages to stop her shaking.
I'm just an innocent, sad, terrified girl who just happened to pass by.
Well, Miss Innocent, sad, and terrified. If you want to prove your innocence, start by telling us what happened here. And mind you, I will call you out if you lie. The evidence here will tell me what's true and what ain't.
She points to her eye.
If you're so clever, then why are you asking me? Just figure it out yourself.
Her testament is weak. She quickly gave in.
All right, I'll tell you. This madman has been harassing me. Ever since I moved into this place, I'd often seen him pacing around in the hallway. Day and night, he'd stomp around out here. He didn't care if anyone else was trying to sleep. I thought he must have had a lot on his mind, like he was troubled or something. So I asked him what happened. His deep, sunken eyes were bloodshot. Every fiber of his being screamed that something was wrong with him. Sir, if you have any problems, there are many ways to solve them. But pacing in the hallway isn't one of them. Plus, it disrupts everyone's sleep. I swear I didn't say anything too harsh, but he was just downright rude.
Get the hell away! Get out of my face!
Excuse me! That's pretty rude, you know!
I had no desire to argue with the madman. Thankfully, the maid intervened when she heard what was going on. I have no idea what she said to him, but eventually they came to terms. He stopped pacing the hallway from then on. That was a relief. I'm sure the other guests would agree. That maid can vouch for what I've said. Ask her yourselves. Not long after, I found a letter from Stefan on the floor of my room. It had been slid under my door. In the letter, he apologized for his behavior. Should I make peace with him? I thought. As I wondered, I took a look through the peephole. It was strange. I couldn't see a thing. It was pitch black out there. Is it broken? I wondered. Before I could dwell on it too much, the phone rang. I was startled, but it was just the front desk calling.
Hello, Miss Kimberly.
Is it dinner time already?
No. Is there an issue between Mr. Stefan and yourself?
She seemed hesitant to speak.
I know it's not my place to ask, but the situation is a little concerning. Mr. Stefan is standing at your door, his face pressed up against
What?
it,
That's kind of
so
creepy.
I just want to confirm that everything's alright between you two.
And that's what happened.
Calm down, miss. It's all over now. Do you still have that letter with you?
The look of disgust comes across Miss Kimberly's face as she gestures to the trash can nearby.
Don't hold on to that. I threw it out right away. It's somewhere in that bin.
August quickly retrieves the crumpled piece of paper from the trash can. She smooths it out on her palm and reads its
Dear
content.
Ms. Kimberly, I've got a question already. How did he know your name? You didn't know each other well enough to have exchanged them, did you?
I'm the victim here, damn it! You can't interrogate me like this. But if you must know, maybe he heard it when my friend called me.
Your friend?
Why? What's so odd about that? A young girl like myself should never travel alone to places like this.
She continues in her indignation.
I need someone to make my bed and prepare my clothes and, most importantly, I need to eat. I wouldn't even be here if I weren't looking for...
She gasps, covering her mouth with her hands. But Argus isn't listening. She continues to read the letter out loud.
I want to apologize for my behavior earlier in the hallway.
Looks like a perfectly normal letter to me. No hints that this is from a man on the verge of a mental breakdown.
If you won't take my word for it, go ahead and ask the maid. She was there. She can vouch for me.
Please, we weren't accusing you of anything.
Argus lets out a laugh.
Though graphology has been criticized a lot these days, I gotta say, this looks more like a woman's handwriting to me.
So you mean Stefan was a woman?
This is getting dumber.
You still with us, Missy? What I'm suggesting is that Mr. Stefan didn't write this letter, but a woman did. But that's just speculation. Chances are Mr. Stefan's handwriting was just a little feminine. I'll keep this letter for now. Back to my questions. If the story you told is true, then why are you at the scene of his death? Did you go looking for him, even after all the weird things he'd done?
I was hungry, okay? That's a good enough answer for you? I can't just starve myself!
Hungry? If I remember correctly, the motel offers room service. And you get 1 free meal a day, so even if you ain't got no money, you have enough food to get by.
What do you know?
She looks flustered.
I'm not eating one of those ham sandwiches.
Alright, so you've got some standards when it comes to food. Let's drop that. You were there when he fired the shot, right? What happened then? Take your time and think it through. There's no rush.
About 15 minutes ago, he rang my doorbell. I thought my friend had returned from town. She always brings something amazing with her, so I opened the door. The last thing I expected was to see Stefan standing there. Who'd have thought that he could get back on his feet so quickly after the beating he took? I was terrified when I saw him there. He towered over me, one hand on the doorframe and the other pushing against the door. I slammed the door shut. I thought he'd let go. But he didn't. The door closed on his fingers.
I understand now. I understand it all. You're with Zeno, aren't you?
His fingers were bent at a peculiar angle. It must have been painful, but he didn't seem to feel the pain at all. The fracturing of his fingers was no more painful than mosquito bite to him.
You came to me and made me drop my guard so that one day you could turn me in for a bounty. But why me? Why are you doing this to me? It wasn't me who made the plan. It wasn't me who executed it. It wasn't me who pressed that damn button. All I did was expose their crime to the rest of the world. Tell me, why else would they want my head so desperately if they didn't believe they were guilty? In the meantime, the actual killers are treated as heroes. But I'm the hero. Me. But all my sorry ass gets is a lifetime of hiding out in some random motel in the middle of nowhere. This world is sick.
What the hell are you talking about?
Come on, drop the act. Right after you spoke to me, Vertin showed up at my door. Are you trying to tell me that that was just by chance?
Burton. He totally ignored my question.
The world has fallen ill. I can see that now. The realm above truly does exist. How else would we have gotten the idea of a perfect heavenly realm? Obviously, it doesn't exist in this world.
I don't care. Even if that place does exist, it has nothing to do with you. Get out of the way. I'm closing the door.
But at least I get to decide when I step through that door, right?
I had no idea what he was talking about. And he didn't give me much chance to figure it out either.
I'm afraid your mission is doomed to fail, young lady.
In that moment, a smile of relief came over his face, and without a moment's hesitation, he pressed the pistol against his temple and pulled the trigger.
Oh, but isn't that the opposite way? Wasn't he on the... Yeah, it was the opposite. Wait. Yeah.
And
The
you
wrong
know the
hand.
rest.
The approaching footsteps stops abruptly. They turn to the source. The maid stands before the group, showing that the right amount of surprise as her eyes fall upon the body.
What's going on in here?
This man killed himself.
Oh dear. There's blood everywhere. It'll be a lot of work to clean it all up, and with the weather being so hot, the room will soon start to smell. All the carpets have to go.
The maid lets out a long sigh. Her tone tinged with annoyance.
Miss Tuesday, can I ask you a question?
Yes?
Have you ever had any guests who looked like or claimed themselves to be Manus Vindictae?
Manus Vindictae?
Her face is flushed as she smiles faintly.
I'm not entirely sure what you mean. Could you explain in more detail?
Most of them dress in blue and black. Some drool a fair bit, and most of them can't speak in full sentences. The most notable feature is that they all wear masks shaped like hands. Have you seen any before?
Masks shaped like hands?
She taps her finger on her chin.
No, I've never had a guest who wore a hand-shaped mask. Never seen anyone in blue and black either. But if an organization was going to do something in secret, I don't think they'd be too public about it.
Hey, lady.
August doesn't hesitate to interrupt the conversation.
Take me to his room.
She points the barrel of her gun at Stefan's corpse.
Oh, it shouldn't be too hard for you to find the room yourself, right, Miss Argus? After all, that's how you make a living. But I can just tell it to you. It's 214. You must be curious about that room. I'm surprised. You've been in almost every room in the motel, and you've been here for 2 days. You're like a child in your curiosity. This place would be much safer if you were the sheriff here. Anyway, I hope you can find that girl soon.
To be continued. Read 9. Spider Silk. They despite everything without saying a word.
Why do you want to go to Stefan's room exactly? Is it related to our investigation?
Why, of course, boss. I'm here looking for Kayla, just as you're looking for that sheep-headed...
She falls into unusual silence.
What is it?
That arcanist you're looking for. Is her name Barbara?
You know her?
Yep. We met. On Route 77. I just got done asking 2 men about Kayla's whereabouts, and saw that it was getting dark. My sight ain't so good at night, and the nights are long these days. So I was in a bit of a hurry, hoping to get somewhere with proper lights as fast as I could. That's when I saw her, Barbara, all alone by the road. Some jerk of a driver dumped her there, and she asked me for a ride. I turned her down. Heck, I could hardly see. She'd have been better off waiting for the next driver than riding with a blind bat like me, you know? But as I drove away, I changed my mind. She was too young to be left out there all by herself. So I turned back to get her. But when I arrived, she was already gone. There was nothing but a trail of hoof prints in the dirt. When I got to the motel, I saw those hoof prints again. I gotta say, I was kinda relieved to see them. At least she made it here safely.
And is she still here?
Well, I've never seen any hoof prints leaving the motel. But that don't mean she's still here. You gotta be mindful of what your mind picks up and what might slip you by. It's easy to ignore other evidence when what you've seen already fits your hypothesis. That being said, it's still likely that she's somewhere in the motel.
All right. Then let's look for her.
It seems we're in agreement. To room 214.
202. 203.
Out of the corner of her eye, a flash of red catches her attention.
I've checked those too. Ain't much in them.
Argus, did you see a red door just now?
A red door?
Nothing. Must have been my imagination.
As they approach the end of the hallway, they spot room 2014. The door is slightly ajar. Clearly Stefan left in a hurry. They enter. The thick curtains are pulled shut, blocking out almost all the light from outside. They hit with a sour smell of old alcohol. The glow in Arcus' eyes flickered like a light of a faulty circuit.
Are you alright? Can you still see?
Don't worry about it. Ain't the first time this has happened. This eye issue runs in the family. It's the price we pay for having our arcane power.
The mercenary glanced around the room, a slight frown from her face.
Now, what are we looking for, boss? People leave all kinds of evidence behind all the time. It'll be like wandering around in the woods without a compass if we don't know what we're looking for. So if you don't want to be inundated with meaningless clues, you need to give me some directions.
Alright. First, I'd like to know what happened to Barbara. Second,
Fleeting image surfaced in her mind.
whether Manus Vindicte has been here, or anyone from that Order of Enlightenment. And last, about Mr. Stefan. The pistol he used was a xeno-military weapon, and he seemed to know about my relation to the vacuum bomb operation. It's likely that he once held a high rank within the xeno-military. I want to know why he came to this motel, and what happened to make him lose his mind here.
Lose his mind here? What makes you think he wasn't crazy already?
Xeno pays much more attention to its soldiers' mental well-being than any conventional military organization. It's because quite a few of them are arcanists. They're both Xeno's strength and weakness. So I'm inclined to think Mr. Stefan developed these mental health issues after entering the motel.
Huh. Is that so? I gotta say, I don't know much about all this military institution stuff. Right, so here's the plan. First, locate Barbara. Second, look for any signs of Manus Vindicte or the Order of Enlightenment. And third, find out how poor old Stefan lost his marbles. And of course, I've got my own business to deal with. Tracking down Kayla.
She starts to clearly search the room.
Hey, boss. I've got something.
There's a serious, small, but clear trace imprinted in the dust.
These footprints are from a spider. Looks like the little guy went back and forth along here quite a few times. I know this might not seem pertinent to our investigation, but it is worth noting. You ever seen a spider make a phone call?
I'm afraid I'm not interested in the movements of spiders right now.
Or Jen.
Come on, boss. Loosen up a little.
Do you hear that? Sounds like dripping water.
With every drip, the water stain grows larger and larger on the wallpaper.
I'm sure it's just the motel plumbing.
But
the stain gradually takes the form of a hand. Its 5 fingers all clearly defined.
watch out!
Suddenly, the hand pulls itself from the wall and slams down.
Look at my back. Fire.
Charging.
It's newly made this year.
Don't blink.
Target confirmed. And now to return to my long-term mid.
This place is definitely more than meets the eye.
I'm with you on that. There's just too much Arcanum-related weirdness going on here. Never seen so many arrays in a motel before.
But we've only found one.
In your room, yeah. But there are a load more. One room has them drawn from floor to ceiling. Looked like some kind of transformation array to me. I ain't no expert, so I can't say for sure.
What are they trying to do, I wonder?
Who knows?
He brings the conversation to an abrupt end and continues searching the room.
Oh, boss. You might be interested in this. It's another one, just like the others.
The design is familiar.
I've seen this before. It was also drawn in that parchment notebook. This is indeed a transformation array, but it's not in its full form.
They were trying something. Check it out.
He plucks the hair from the carpet.
This is hair from the mane of a howler lion. And there are some other materials around it too. Not exactly sure what they are though. They're too finely ground. But one thing's for sure. Someone held a ceremony here, and for some reason, it didn't work out for them.
This is important. The Foundation needs to know about this. Argus?
This is Kayla's hair. She was here, in this room. Or at least someone who came into contact with her.
The phone rings, cutting her off. To be continued. Spooky time! So we're probably going to be just doing the same thing where our usually main event wise we're doing 1 through 10. Then we'll finish the 11 to end. Hopefully, it did tell me that it is 18-ish. So hopefully it's around like, I know the other one made it like to 24, but well, hopefully it's not as long. So part 10, it's spooky time. Unexpected surprises, or rather, scares. And we're already past our 2-hour mark. A man lies in the grass just outside of town. He's strumming a guitar and humming to himself.
Ah, this is the life. A warm, beautiful night, a cold drink, and no one but me and the stars in the sky. Maybe I'll just lay here till morning.
It's a young Geno soldier, his eyes hazy from intoxication. He raises his flask to the twinkling stars above.
A good night with good drinks! I wish every day could be like this. Hey, buddy, you're blocking my view.
Huh? Are you stargazing?
A soldier blinks. He knows that voice.
Has anyone ever told you that you sound awfully like Lieutenant Lilia? The rider of Red 38? Heard of her? No one can fly like her.
Of course.
The soldier concentrates, getting the figure's face a little more into focus.
Oh my... You even look like her!
Keep playing dumb, and I'll show you what it's like to have her kick your ass.
The soldier's shrunken eyes finally focus to see Lilia's herself, a look of displeasure on her face. He stumbles to his feet, dropping the flask in his hand on the way up. He tries to salute, but almost falls flat on his face in the attempt.
Lieutenant Lilia! Airman First Class Andreas, at your service.
Luckily, he managed to complete the wobbling salute.
Are you the warehouse guard?
She looks at the soldier doubtfully.
Yes, ma'am!
Few would so eagerly admit to the due recreation of their duties. In a way, he possessed exceptional courage.
On your feet, soldier. My Red 38 is in your warehouse for maintenance, and I need you to remove the gravity ritual from it.
Gravity ritual?
If you don't understand what I'm saying, go get someone who does. I need it today.
The soldier ponders, slowed by his room, just as Lydia is about to lose her patience. The soldier's eyes lit up.
Oh, right. The gravity ritual. Yes, I know. Please, come with me. I'll take you to the warehouse.
Are you certain you can undo the ritual?
Yes, ma'am. They made sure I got the hang of it before they took off. Leave it to me.
Lead the way, soldier.
They stand side by side in the factory, the wooden crates before them.
Open it.
Oh, I remember this package. I thought it was some kind of joke, or someone with the same name as you sent the package. Who would have thought that you'd come to Texas yourself?
He rambles on. Lydia's patience is coming to an end.
Hurry up, soldier. Open the crate, now.
Ma'am, I know you want to do this quick, but... I haven't been authorized to undo this incantation.
If you can't do it, find me someone who can. I won't say it a third time.
truth be told, there's no one else to turn to. I'm the only one left. I was made an airman first class to do this job. I was still in training before this, you see.
He probably pats his chest.
The others were either transferred back to headquarters or just left. I don't know where they are now. But since they entrusted me with such an important task, I'm sure I have a bright future ahead of me.
The league of peasants has officially run out.
You just said you aren't authorized, not that you don't have the ability, right? I have two options for you. One, remove the ritual now. Or two, I beat your ass and then you remove the ritual.
Well...
Choose! No more gibbering.
She readies her fist.
I picked the second one.
What? She's generally confused.
You see, I'm happy to get rid of the ritual for you, but I can't do it on my own initiative. I'm only an airman first class. I can't make decisions about this stuff. So, you have to beat me up to avoid future inquiries. One day, after I'm promoted, I'll be able to better assist you, ma'am. I mean, you're the best pilot I've ever seen. I even made a scrapbook of the reports on your flights.
Before he can finish what he's saying, Lydia has already clocked him.
Alright, no screaming, soldier. Let's do this.
Each hit seems to clear his head a little more. By the time his face is completely swollen, he has snapped out back to reality.
Stop! Stop! This is plenty to prove my innocence. I'll undo the ritual now.
He squats down and performs a necessary movement around the crate. There's a flash of light.
You almost blinded me there.
He eagerly grabs Red 38 and feels the familiar touch of a cold metal in her palm.
Thanks, soldier. There's one more thing.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you know why Zeno pulled out of here so suddenly?
He squints, trying to remember.
They said it was an order from the top.
The top?
And that's all I was told. But word is, it was because Admiral Igor got real mad about the video leak of the vacuum bomb. But that's just a rumor. Ever since the evacuation, strange things have started to happen.
Such as?
We started getting visitors from this group called the Order of Enlightenment. And now, the farmers have stopped tending their fields. The cattle and sheep have been abandoned in the wilderness. All the townsfolk do now is go to these gatherings, hoping that the sufferer will bring them eternal joy. I don't know who this sufferer is, but he ain't doing any good here.
Where do those people stay? In the town?
It's a ways away, I think. A place called Tuesday's Motel.
Berlin, Vertin! I have to go back!
She clasps the Red 38 with both hands, the cool groove for the metal settling into her grasp.
Let's get out of here, girl!
With the victorious stance, she mounts the Red 38. The silver light traces as an arc in the sky as the pilot leaves the factory and disappears into the night. The young soldiers called out after her, his voice soon swallowed by the night. She lands near the hill, guarded by the glowing sign. The shadow of trees sounds like a hunched human. Big eye.
Choose this motel.
She locks onto the destination and is about to proceed when she feels something tap her on the shoulder from behind.
Hello. Can you give me a ride?
Wait, is it her
I
again?
can't help you. Ask someone else.
Can you give me a ride?
I said I can't help you.
The repeated question are getting on her nerve. She swoops around, ready to give the questioner a piece of her mind, but freezes on the spot. There's a girl wearing an outdated outfit. Her face has no discernible figures, like it's been smoothed over the...
Can I have some chocolate?
The faceless girl holds out a candy wrapper.
I met a kind man who gave me some chocolate. I've never tasted anything so sweet.
The hell? Stay away from me!
Can I have that candy? More! I want more!
She opens her mouth wide, revealing a row of razor-sharp teeth.
Stop asking me for candy! This isn't Halloween, idiot!
Program activated.
It's newly made this year.
Fine.
Charging.
Got you.
Don't blink!
Barrage.
I remember it's called lending a hand. Hey.
The pilot relaxes her posed fist when she recognizes the person in front of her.
It's you.
Are you alright? You look pale.
You shouldn't sneak up on people like that. I could have hurt you.
My apologies. But you're safe now that you're at the motel. No need to be frightened.
Hastily written lines in the standard issue notebook, as clear and powerful as the lieutenant who wrote them. Accountable records. Date of record, September 20, 1990. Recorded by Lieutenant Modor. Subject, Admiral Igor's recent actions. This week, Admiral Igor addressed the contact of 3 subordinates and implemented the following measures. Captain L. Harris, transgression. Ineffective leadership during training, resulting in subpar exercise performance. Admiral Edgar's action issued a severe warning and reassigned from current position. Sergeant K. Rodriguez, transgression, breach of military discipline, unauthorized absence from duty. Admiral Edgar's actions gave a severe reprimand and imposed 3 days of confinement. Lieutenant J. Davis, transgression, failure to complete assigned tasks within the designated time frame. Agate Emir's actions issues a severe warning and assigned additional personnel to assist with the investigation. The source of the leak has been identified as Stefan Garcia. Leak content: vacuum bomb explosion footage. End of no record. Note to self: it is evident that the Admiral's stringent measures have aimed at reinforcing military discipline. We must assure that every officer and soldier adhere strictly to the duties and maintain the high levels of readiness. Some officers believe we have been excessively harsh recently. Discuss this with them. High Command perspective. Arrange a meeting for the Admiral. Tracking target K. Texas. Waiting scout report. Every town has its own story, some filled for prime time, others for filling slots. Letterbound Diary, February 5th. Well, ain't that odd. Pierce came back early this morning, scared out of his mind. I had never seen a kid so freaked out. He sped through town and only slammed on the brakes when he got to the front door, as if something was chasing him. That's nuts. That nut almost ran over Rita's little bulldog. Only God knows what he ran into. February 15. The birds are chirping the whole night long. I've never seen so many of them gathered together. Oh boy, they were so noisy. I barely slept awake. Ruth was scared. She thought it was some kind of omen. What a joke. Those long-beaked birdies aren't afraid of shotguns, that's for sure. I fired a shot at them, but only gave a few spooks enough to fly away. Father Morgan suggests hiring a bird control team. If such a thing exists in big cities, that is. But I still think we should assemble all the gun users in the town and kill them all, and kill all the birds once and for all, rather than scare them off. March 27. Had a nightmare, very vivid one. Although I can't for life with me remember what it was all about. Ruth woke up scared too. I comforted her. It was just a nightmare, nothing more. March 30th. Pierce didn't come back from Houston, but the police sure did. They said Pierce employed in Houston reported him missing, thinking he ran off with the money. I wouldn't put it past that sly fox. April 10th. All night long, the birds are making that racket again. When I pulled back the curtains in the morning, I thought it was still dreaming, but it was real. There were so many birds that were blocking out the sun. It was like a walking nightmare. April 12th, the birds scattered. Everyone looks kind of strange. It's been ages since I saw Marita's walking her dog, and Ruth started bawling over the most trivial things. It's unnerving. April 17th. Johnny's back in town, looking like his soul got swallowed up by the devil. I saw him running, screaming like a madman. Then he just collapsed on the lawn all of a sudden, crying and begging for something to spare him. Father Morgan came, but he had this strange look about him. I heard that Johnny was saying he was bubbling on and on about a motel. May 13th. I talked to the realtor. Yeah, it comes to that. I'm finally thinking about moving. Why? I don't know. I guess you could call it a gut feeling. Maybe my mind can be eased a bit somewhere new. Alright, let's see, how much more energy do we have left? Alright. Alright, so we're going to end stream for today. So thanks everyone for coming out for today's stream.